Okay,
let me start the Instagram live as well. Here is live. Okay, Conscious Kenya is live. So Alia, you can join the Instagram live, and then we can
trying to look
start.
for you guys, and I can't see you. There you go. Okay, I'm live. Should I request to be in your video?
Yeah.
How do I request that now? There. Oops. There we go.
Okay.
Did you get a request?
Yes. Go live with Alia Datoo. So you should be appearing in a moment.
There we are.
There we go. We're live on all channels. So let's get started. Welcome everybody to the Conscious Kenya show. This is a show that's happening most Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on all Conscious Kenya channels. And it's all about stories of healing and transformation, intimate, real conversation, indigenous wisdom and spirituality, conscious awakening, and just diving deeper into our conscious journeys. So today I'm so excited to welcome onto the show Alia Datoo. Welcome. So Alia, oh yes, welcome. And I'm just going to turn my Instagram video down, media volume down. There we go. Perfect. Alia is many things, a woman of many hats, including an intuitive energy healer, and also the founder of Women Who Hike Africa. So there's many aspects to her healing and her practice, which we're going to dive deeper into today, as well as talking about the science of energy healing, which Alia is very well placed to share with us because she actually studied metaphysical sciences at the master's and PhD levels. So very, very warm welcome to the show, Alia.
Thank you so much, Narissa. It's always a pleasure and an honor to be on Conscious Kenya. And yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight.
Awesome. So now I just need to put these volumes down. Can't seem to mute the phone, so hopefully it's okay. All right, so I think we can just start off with getting straight to the topic of the show, which is, first we'll talk a little bit about energy healing, I'm thinking, and then talk a bit about your personal journey, and then go in deeper into the science and the particular questions. Sure. So maybe you could talk first about what is energy healing?
So, energy healing is more or less an umbrella term for a lot of different modalities that use alternate healing methods, and that actually use the energies, the body's own energy systems to heal, to do lots of stuff with. So that is mostly covered by energy healing, and you're talking of modalities or things like chakra healing, for example, working with chi, working with qigong, stuff like acupuncture, vibration, using energy codes, etc. So it's a whole umbrella of energy healing. So energy healing basically is anything that uses
Ali, I think I didn't catch the last part of what you said. I think it froze. I don't know if that was you or me, the last sentence you said.
I think both of us froze.
Huh. What was the last thing you said? The last bit of what is energy healing?
So I will go back and say, just a moment, just a moment. Can you hear me? I'm getting a comment that people can't hear. Just a second. I can't hear, but I just lost my.
Can people on the Instagram or Facebook or YouTube just comment and let us know if you can hear both of us clearly?
Would that help? Is that better?
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Thanks so much, Eva.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Great. Okay, Eva can hear us both. Yes. Hi, Eva. Yeah, that's good. So coming back, I think I need to re-answer the question again. Yeah, so energy healing is actually a broad-based umbrella term for any modality that uses alternate healing. So when you're looking at modalities like acupuncture, intuitive energy healing, there's Reiki, there's crystal energy healing, there is EFT, I forgot to mention that earlier, something like healing with energy cords, all those fall under energy healing. But when you come with a microscope and you actually look at what energy healing is, then that's basically using the body's own vibrational frequencies to treat ailments, illnesses at a much more deeper level. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And what is this? There's a difference, we always talk about holistic wellness, about mind, body, soul, and then we talk about, the physical body and an energy body. So how does this energy body interact with the physical body?
How does the physical body interact with the energy body? So we have always known to believe that the human body has a physical form, it has a mental form, it has an emotional side to it, and also a spiritual side. But energy healing is the part of you could say the human body that you cannot touch, you cannot see, it's not tangible, but it goes further and beyond the five senses that we're known to have. So, for example, we can sense, we can see, we can smell, we can taste, we can do all these things that define us as a human physical body. But energy healing or the energy body goes one step further, and that actually works with the vibration that the human body has. And energy actually uses those vibrations to treat or to understand. Like I said, it understands issues at a whole different level.
Mm. Yeah, that makes sense. So we're working with vibration, basically.
Vibrations, yes.
Yeah. And maybe there's one more thing you could share with us, which is metaphysics. So you studied metaphysical sciences. Mm-hmm. So what exactly is metaphysics, and how is this related to energy healing?
So would you like the textbook definition of metaphysics, or should I sum it up in simple terms?
Maybe simple terms.
So in simple terms, you could say that metaphysics actually is the study or the science of going beyond what is natural or what is real. So we're going beneath, like I said, we're going beneath what we know to be the five senses of the human body. We're going one layer or one step beneath that. That's what metaphysics is all about. And metaphysics also encapsulates things like spiritual healing. It's going to a spiritual level, basically, and incorporating again the study or the impact or the influence of vibration of energy on the human body.
Okay, amazing. I'm excited to delve deeper into this as we go along, but I think it's a good time to maybe share a little bit about you and your journey. How did it all start? When did you discover that you wanted to be an energy healer?
That's a good question. I always love answering that question. So, to answer that question, I want to take you to a very, very famous term that's been floating around nowadays, and that's known as a spiritual awakening. You must have heard of spiritual awakenings. And everybody says, everybody believes that when one has a spiritual awakening, that's their path to, becoming something extraordinary or, different from what they already are. But if I may say,
Alia, I
sorry,
think you just muted
yeah,
yourself or disappeared. Are you
sorry,
back?
just a moment, just a moment, just a moment. I'm back here.
Okay,
I need to
something
switch
came
my
back.
phone to flight mode. Okay, sorry. Is that okay?
Alia, I think you're
Yeah,
muted.
I'm here.
One
I can
sec.
see you kind
I
of.
don't know if it's you or it's my internet.
It's me. It's me. It's me. Am I back now? Are you back?
Oh, Alia, are you?
I can't
I
see
can
you on
see
Instagram.
you, but on the
Okay, I can't see you.
Instagram. Okay, I think I need you
Oh, I
to
was done.
rejoin the
I think I need to,
Instagram.
yeah, let me just rejoin it again. Just a second. Sorry about all these technical problems. See, energy is
Just
so
as you were
like,
getting to that juicy topic of your
energy is so alive. Like it's
your
so
journey
bad.
to
It's like
become an
very
energy
high right
healer.
now.
Okay,
Everything is
here
like
we are.
reflected the
You've sent a
technology too.
request on Instagram.
Yeah,
Let me. Alia's coming back.
perfect. Almost there.
Also, you're still
There we
muted.
are. Am I still
Or
muted? Oh,
now
I'm back
you're okay,
now.
actually. I just let you
Now I'm
try
okay.
to.
Just a second. Just a second. Perfect. Can you hear me now? All good?
Yes, there we go. All right, so
Perfect. Yes.
tell
So
us.
coming back to spiritual awakenings. Um, Spiritual awakenings basically happen in life when you are forced to look at a different aspect or a different, what can you say, trajectory altogether. We're so used to living in the third dimension. We're so used to living in the physical, the material plane, that at some point in our lives, our soul jerks us and says, you know what, there is another realm, a whole different dimension to your existence. Wake up to that existence. And that is what spiritual awakening is all about. It's all about just, inquiring further and deeper about why you are on this earth and what your purpose is. And mostly this happens when everything that you have relied on in the past, that's everything on the physical realm, your material realm, disappears or falls apart or falls away. And when you hit that point, when there's nothing physical, material, or emotional there to support you, you turn your attention inwards. You start inquiring inside of you and asking yourself that, what else or how else can I help myself or push myself forward. So I faced a similar time in my life when I was at an all-time low, when all my, my physical world had crumbled, my relationships with people had gone down the drain, and I was forced to do a self-inquiry and say, you know what, okay, fine, I've hit rock bottom. Now what can I do, or how can I get myself out of this? And that's when energy healing came to me, and it actually came to me in the form of one of my mentors, my first mentors, and she actually just started off as being an online yoga teacher. She was based in Canada, and we started learning yoga online. And because she's elevated and because she reads energy, she could pick up that, you know what, you need to start owning your energy as well. And that's how I started my tutorage, or you could call it my apprenticeship, under her, and began on this journey of energy healing and spirituality, if you want to call it that, but yeah, mostly energy healing. And it's been an interesting and very, very exciting, and it's like, what can I say, and it turns your whole life upside down, because you're forced to think differently. You're forced to perceive life in a whole different way, with a whole new set of glasses, because whatever was before doesn't seem to fit anymore. All your ways of thinking, your ways of acting, your ways of behaving, your belief systems, your perceptions, everything falls away. So you're forced to now think from inside out instead of outside in. And when you start doing that, I like to call that tuning inwards. When you tune inwards, you open up a whole new world of, a whole new world in front of you, of possibilities, of opportunities, of seeing things in a whole different light. So yeah, that's part of my journey. That's how it all started for me.
That's amazing. And it's interesting how a lot of people's healing journeys actually start when they've hit an all-time low. You're like in the depths of it and you suddenly see past the material.
Mhm.
And then that's kind of where it all starts. And also, as you're healing yourself, you suddenly realize, I have all of this
Yeah.
power. So yeah, that's amazing. And it's really cool how, you started off, you met this teacher who saw, the potential in you. And how is there anything else interesting you'd love to share about your journey? What happened next?
So I would like to share that what it may sound out of a a fantasy and magic storybook, but it's not the case. We all have this in us. We all have the ability to become healers, to work with energy, because there's nothing special. It's not like I had a magic wand waved in front of me, and voila, I developed all my gifts and all my skills. We're all born with this. It's all inside of us. It's just a matter of recognizing it and acknowledging it and owning it. As simple as that. Help of mentors, the help of energy teachers, you get to develop your gift, you get to develop your innate talent about being an energy healer. You get to know more, and like they say, what you put your attention to obviously grows. So people want to study law, want to study medicine, want to study lots of other things. Why not study energy healing? Why not study about something that you already have and grow that and bring that out to the world?
Amazing. I agree entirely. And on that topic, you actually studied metaphysics all the way until PhD level. That's pretty amazing. And when you were sharing with me earlier about what your course entailed, I was just amazed that all of this is, there's proper courses on this. I'd love to hear a little bit more about what you studied, both at university and also, with your teachers. Yeah.
So yeah, sure. So yes, so I had the opportunity of taking my skills onto paper, because it all started off with 2020, when the pandemic hit, and there was a need for this kind of service to mankind, because people were falling into depression. People didn't know how to cope with the pandemic, how to cope with the new normals, and I decided to offer my help as an energy healer, and try to get people to balance the paradigm that shifted for them. And at one point, I was actually it came up as it's really petty to say this online, but I was actually asked, like, who gave you the permission, or who gave you the right to teach these things, because I was practically offering them free of course to people. And that is actually what drove my, what do you say, my was the motivation behind me actually pursuing and putting whatever I had learned to paper, because I had learned everything that I had studied for or prepared for, or appeared in exams for with my mentors and my teachers. All methods of energy healing. You come to hypnotherapy, past life regression, crystal healing, you name it. And I've gone through all those training modalities, right? It was just that I was missing a certification saying, what, I can teach, I can do this. So when that came up, I discovered that what, there is a course that can actually get me a certificate that says what, I am certified to teach this. And that's how I ended up pursuing a bachelor's, a master's, and a PhD in metaphysics. Now, the bachelor's and the master's were easy, because it was putting all my practical use into theory, which I already knew. It was like I finished that like with my eyes closed. What was really challenging and exciting, and I think really grew me more into who I am right now, being able to come and talk to people about energy healing, was my PhD journey. Because with that, I realized that what, this is not only my calling, it is my purpose. I want to know, I want people to know about energy healing, and I want people to acknowledge the healers within them and bring them out. Because like I said earlier, we all have it in us. It's not like it's any magic or anything that you need to do. It's all within us. And if you have that interest, if you have that knowledge, if you have that passion inside of you, you can develop that the gift inside of you as well. It's as simple as that.
Amazing. Yeah, thanks for sharing. And also, it's really interesting that you brought up this whole issue of when you receive knowledge from a teacher, and yet people would always these days need a certificate. It's a very
Yeah.
interesting topic, and it's something that I'm actually planning to delve into in a future conversation or two. So, because traditionally, such wisdom, such knowledge, such teachings were passed down from teacher to student. It was nothing to do
Yeah.
with certification. That's a whole new, way of thinking that's come up recently. So that's very interesting. And it is true that a lot of us in this line of work, whether it's energy healing or teaching yoga or other forms of holistic wellness, we nowadays kind of need to get a certificate in order to prove to people to believe in what we do. But at the end of the day, it's nothing to do with that actual piece of paper. It's been passed down and it's within us.
Exactly.
Right? And within all
Exactly.
of us,
That's
as you said.
all of us. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody asks you when you go to and a homeopath and he gives you some concoctions of some powders and stuff. Nobody asks him like, who gave you that, the certificate is to dish out this kind of, concoctions and stuff. I mean, it's blind faith and it's the knowledge and acceptance that, what, this has worked in the past. It's happened in the past. People are doing it now and it's working.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's a good time to get into energy healing and the science a little bit more. So I have a few questions for you. One is, can we actually feel the energy body?
That's okay. Well, yeah, I mean, can you actually feel the energy body? What do you think?
Well, yes, I think so.
I Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can in many ways, and I think this is going to lead us on to there's other things that we were talking about earlier, like vibe and aura and all of this. So it'd be really cool to delve into some of these topics. What is vibe? What is aura? What are these energy centers or chakras that we have in our bodies? And they talk about the nadis, the energy channels, or in other lines of thought, the meridians. So there's all these philosophies, but maybe you could how do we actually know that these are true? How can we feel this energy in
So,
this energy body?
before I answer your question whether this is true or not, I'd like to take you back to school. We've all been through physics sessions in school. We all remember the fundamental lesson that we were taught about energy, that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but it can be altered. And human beings are made of energy. Everything on this planet is made of energy, basically, right? So we are basically energy. And by understanding that about ourselves, we're able to manipulate our energies into different forms. And one of these forms is healing. So in order to feel energy, now there are many ways to feel energy. I mean, I've seen people doing the energy ball exercises that you can do. For example, holding your hands at a certain distance and then taking them apart slowly so you can feel the bioenergy in between your palms. You can see energy sort of by holding your hands out and seeing an outline of your aura around your fingers, or if you stare long into the mirror, you could see the outline around your body. You can try that, yeah. If you have like 2 minutes to stare at your hands and you'll see like behind on a plain background, and you could just see this gentle outline, like a very faint, transparent outline outside your body. Can you see that? Can anybody see that? If you can, just say yes.
Yeah, and also after this call, if you want to try it out, just spend some time
Yeah.
staring at your hand.
Just get your hand up, just hold it up like at arm's length against the wall and just stare at it, or just stare between the fingers, and you'll see a very small kind of a transparent outline of your hand. And that's how you can probably see a small glimmer of energy. If you take it deeper with what are known as auras, you can actually see the color of that outline, and that becomes your energetic aura. We'll come to that later, of course. Um, Another way of you experiencing energy, for instance, is the best way to do it is just to rub your palms together for some time and just to hold it like a couple of inches, and you'll feel some movement between both your palms. That's the best way of feeling energy. And one of my most favorite exercises that I like to teach or show people who learn energy healing from me is, for instance, we are all gathered here on this live show, or if you're watching this later on, just at the moment, bring your awareness to your shoulders and just bring your awareness to the tightness, the stress, and the tension on your shoulders. So if you can do that for a second, Narissa, let me experiment on you since I can only see you right tension in your shoulders somewhere, and then take your. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think you dropped for a second.
Yeah,
I
I think
heard
so too.
feel the tension in your shoulders, right?
Yeah. Yes. So now take your hand and with one finger, just press somewhere where you feel the tension, and you see it kind of hurts a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now take your hands, rub them together for a few minutes, just a few minutes, and now just raise your hand a few inches above your shoulder, and just move that hand above in a clockwise motion for another few seconds, like for a minute or something. Just keep on doing that for a few minutes. And now take the finger again and press exactly where you pressed earlier. And now see if it's paining you or if you feel the tension, stress now.
I mean, it feels a bit less. Hmm.
It does feel less, yeah. So yeah, so there you go.
Yeah.
You just muted healing energy to your shoulder. I mean, that's how energy works. That's how healing energy works. Yeah.
Interesting, amazing. Another way that I think I've felt energy is during healing sessions, whether I'm on the receiving or the giving end. You feel a heat coming from, even if
Yes.
someone's not rubbed their palms
Yes.
and they're doing a sort of energy healing with
Mm-hmm.
their hands.
Mm-hmm.
People often say that you feel very strong heat, and even maybe you also feel like in your own hands a
Yes.
very
Feel the sensation.
strong heat coming out of
Yes.
the hands. And I don't
Yeah.
know I don't know how that works, but it's something very
Yeah,
interesting I've
that those
observed
you can
and
feel
felt.
those sensations. You feel heat. You feel even during energy work. When I'm doing energy work for people, I've had them, express that they felt cold, they felt heat, they felt a tingling sensation on their bodies. Like that's it. It's all the flow of energy. It's all energy flowing through your body. So yeah,
Very
that's
interesting.
still there's so many ways to feel energy. There's so many ways.
And also something interesting, and then maybe this takes us on to the topic of vibe or vibration.
Hmm.
But something else interesting that happens, I think, is when you come into contact with another person, before you even talk to them or whether or not you talk with them, you sometimes feel a certain kind of way. And then
Yes.
it's like, yeah, something shifted when that person entered the room,
Hmm.
whether in a
Yeah.
positive or a negative way. Or maybe it's like, yes, I want to talk to this person. No, I don't. Or you're in a
Hmm.
conversation with
Hmm.
them and it's like something resonates or doesn't. So I don't know,
Right.
maybe you could share a little bit about that.
So something beautiful about energy is that it introduces itself before you as a person introduce yourself to people. So when like exactly like you said, for instance, that when you come into contact with people, I didn't like the vibes that I receive from them, or they don't have very good vibes, or she's got such good vibes, or she's got such good energy. That's all your energy, that's introducing itself, or that's giving out itself before you can even open your mouth and say, hi, I'm Larissa, and this is who I am. Just going back just a few moments to what you said about feeling energy, when we have certain, like for example, um, feeling energy in your body. When you feel sad, where do you feel it? When you feel happy, where do you feel it? That's also energy, because energy has a vibration, and that vibration actually travels up and down your body, and you actually experience it in different parts of your body. So, for example, you might feel, if you feel sad or you feel anxious, you feel it in your stomach. You feel joy, you feel happiness, you could feel it in your heart. You know,
Hmm. Maybe
so
we
you
can
can
ask the
feel.
audience as well,
Mhm.
those
Yeah,
questions. Like, and this will also take us onto the topic of chakras as well. So just to
yes,
ask the audience,
definitely.
when you feel, what was the thing we talked about earlier? When you feel fear,
Yeah,
where in your
fear
body
is
do
a
you
good one.
feel fear? If anyone's would like, you can type onto the chat. When you feel, what were the other emotions you brought up?
Well, there's fear and anxiety, which is the same thing. There's happiness. There is, let's say, um, when you feel not too sure about yourself, when you feel doubt. when you feel, let's say, when you're in living in a fantasy, feel it.
And
Where do you
another
yeah.
one, perhaps when you feel, and if people who are watching this, you can also close your eyes for a moment and just tune into that emotion. So, for example, when you feel love or you think of someone you love, which part of you do you feel it? When you feel heartbreak, where do you feel it?
Mhm.
All of these things. When you
Yeah.
feel confidence, fear.
Where do you feel it? Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. So we have a comment or two here I can see on the
Mm-hmm.
Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Chefrick23 says, I feel happiness in my heart. And
That's Raj.
Eva says, deep in my stomach and in the gut. So what was this in reference to?
Hmm?
Was that about fear or what? Eva says, I feel love in my heart. So as you're commenting, if you can just share which emotion is in which location. So it's interesting to see. And Zenat says, happiness I feel in my voice.
Where
Interesting.
do you feel it? Yeah, where do you feel it?
Which part of your body? And Eddie, if you're on your YouTube, I'm seeing. So Eddie, if you're on the Facebook, if you could just share any comments that are coming in from the Facebook, because I can't see it on the software. This is cool. So yeah, people are saying the different places that they're feeling the emotions. So how does that work? And I know we were talking earlier about the chakras, and for those who are not too familiar with the chakras, these are the energy centers in the body, and they have different names and in the different traditions. So how does this work? Like, is this a real thing? Are chakras real? Are we just making it up? Is it a nice story? What's the science there?
So I would love to believe it's a story, but unfortunately, there are so many documents that go back 1,500 years ago, proving that there are energy centers that are located along, our body. So as I mentioned, I think I mentioned this in the beginning, that energy travels through our body, and we have meridians through which the energy travels. One of the most, you could say, logical proofs of meridians is acupuncture. If you notice that if you've been to an acupuncturist or if you've observed how acupuncture is, carried out, they actually follow a meridian through which they, place the needles, and that needle actually, that point of pressure travels up to different parts of your body. So likewise, when we have all these energy centers, energy flowing through our meridians, there are certain lock points where two or more meridians tend to intersect, and that is where you have an energy center. Now, there are over 100 energy centers in our body, but there are seven main energy centers that are known as the chakras, the seven main chakras, and they run along your spine, and they're each responsible for different things. So when energy gets blocked, now one of the most, would you say, common causes of energy blockages in our body are the emotions that we hold on to. If we hold on to negative emotions, like there's grief, there's sadness, there is anger, there is jealousy, all the negative and what we call as low vibrating emotions, these tend to create energy locks or blocks in our body. And when this happens, if you continue staying with the block in your body, you continue operating from that space, which is a negative space. So you constantly have these feelings of, dejection, sadness, negativity, depression, etc., that you go through in life. Alternatively, when you clear a block, an energy block in your body, you start experiencing or start vibrating at a higher level or a higher frequency. So you start experiencing joy, you start experiencing confidence where you had low self-esteem, you start experiencing security where you felt unsafe. You start feeling, you start discerning between reality and illusion where you couldn't make up what is reality, what is illusion. You are able to, for example, voice your truth or speak your authentic, truth. And yeah, that's how energy gets trapped in our body. And the thing about energy again is it manifests itself externally as a disease. So many people are quick to run to doctors when they have sore throat, when they have a headache, when they have a stomach problem. But this is the thing about energy healing. As I mentioned earlier, it takes you underneath the five senses that we're used to, working with as humans. We go one step deeper and we look at the energetic blueprint of our bodies and we try to understand, okay, fine, where is this coming from? We look at the root cause of where this is coming from. So you might find yourself having, throat issues, or, sore throats, or, constant choking in your throat. But then when you realize, you go deeper, you find out that I'm unable to express myself. Or when I see something bad happening, I choose to keep quiet and, just turn the other way and not speak about it. Or I don't listen very well to people. It works both ways. You speak and you receive. You give out and you receive in, right? So this is all how energy manifests itself externally on the physical plane, or the physical body, you could say.
Yeah, I'm happy you brought that up because it's actually it's a very important thing to address, because quite often a lot of us will suffer from a certain physical issue recurrently. Someone will say, okay, well, I am prone to stomach issues, or I am prone to throat issues, or a specific thing. And we'll just keep going to the doctor, getting medicine, curing it, but we've not treated the root of what is causing that. And I won't go into too much detail personally, but there's a time that I was getting recurrent throat issues, and I realized that I knew it was because I wasn't speaking a certain truth. And when I finally got over that hurdle and spoke that truth, I barely get throat issues now. This was around a year and a half ago.
Wow.
So
There
it
you go.
really, yeah, it makes sense. So, back to the idea of, the science, where does the science come in? Something that I was thinking about is, what does science do? It looks for the real examples to observe, to analyze. And in a way, I think a lot of this kind of practice is, okay, we've been taught a lot of things, we've been told a lot of things. Now we need to look within and actually observe ourselves, analyze ourselves. It's like that, the meditation practice of Vipassana, where you observe.
Right.
It's like your body becomes your laboratory, because
Mm-hmm.
you can experience entirely that truth within yourself. To me, that's a whole scientific experiment in itself.
That was beautifully said, Narissa. I love what you said. Your body becomes a lab. And energy healing is a science, because not does it only go, or create or raise inquiry that goes further beyond. Energy healing basically is all about consciousness. And consciousness is something that is becoming, quite, that is contributing a lot towards, you could say, scientific developments nowadays. There are many scientific studies that prove that, what, there are, diseases, or there are issues, or there are, issues with the human body that go beyond this general medicine. It goes further than that. And that is why energy healing actually is referred to as a science. And I was watching radio the other day, and they actually are predicting that, what, energy healing is going to become the norm of, the future. Like how we go out for a walk, how we go to physio, how we just go for a workout. That's what energy healing is going to be about. You're just going to sit and, meditate, or do your breath work, and just, fix your energy. And by fixing your energy, you fix a whole bunch of issues that you're facing on, the outside and the inside.
And along those lines of, fixing ourselves, how can all of us access that inner healer? Earlier in this conversation, you said, every single one of us is a healer. Each one of us can access this healing. So for those of us, for those people watching, how can we access our own inner healing power?
So first of all, you need to start understanding and believing and accepting that energy healing is not something that goes, abracadabra, boom. We all, like I said, we all have the capacity, we all have the ability to become energy healers. Now, energy doesn't come from us, energy comes through us. So in order for us to access and allow energy to flow through us, we need to become clear and, pure and clear conduits for energy to flow through. And that happens when, I want to take you back to what you asked at the beginning of the session, that how do you know it's true? Now, having these beliefs about energy healing, or about anything in life, basically, again, blocks that flow of energy. So the first thing that you need to do in order to become an energy healer is to, first of all, release all these limiting beliefs that you have that center around energy healing, about, the metaphysical world. And even about, about the fact that, what, I can't, or I wouldn't, or I couldn't, or I shouldn't. Because, I mean, these are just limiting and blocking you. And then the second thing that you need to understand or do or accept is that, what, it has to be from within you. Energy, I mentioned earlier that, energy can't be created or destroyed. It can be altered. It can be manipulated. But how do you manipulate energy? The only way that you can do that is through your consciousness, through your thinking, through your thoughts, right? And by believing that I cannot do this, you cannot do it, obviously. But if you open up yourself, you open up to be a channel through which energy can flow and allow that, healing or the energy to flow and go wherever it's needed, you can, actually channel and, say, okay, fine, you know what? I want to, I want to use or access or, tap into this energy. And energy can be anything. It can be anything. It can be changing your, your current, mood from, sad to happy. It can be changing somebody else's mood from sad to happy. It can be just hugging somebody. It can be passing on a hug to somebody. That, what, you're seeing somebody is down. Let me hug them. That's a form of energy, transmission or, passing on energy. You can go deeper. Hello? I think I was frozen. Can you hear me?
Yeah, heard all of that.
You heard all that? Perfect.
Yeah.
It's all about the intention. It's all about creating that intention and becoming consciously aware of the fact that, what, you can be a conduit for energy to pass through. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I guess this energy can be in so many forms. It can be in the form of healing, it can be in the form of manifesting, it can be all kinds of things.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
yeah, and I do, there's so many things that I feel like asking you, but I also want to open up the space to questions from our audience who are watching. There's a lot of nice comments coming in on Instagram, people really enjoying this conversation, saying, well said, 100%, enjoying what we've been talking about. So those of us who are watching, feel free to ask any questions. And some of the things that I've been thinking about that I was thinking about talking more about, we can see what to go into in the meantime. I was thinking of talking a bit more about vibe and vibration, about what is the aura, about manifestation, maybe different types of energy healing, about prayer, about how to tell the difference between what is legit energy healing, what is not. I was also thinking about talking about spiritual protection and psychic self-defense. Maybe even going more back into your own personal journey and your own challenges. So a lot of things we could talk about, but of course we only have a few minutes left. So if there's any requests from the audience, feel free to ask. I can see a question here on Instagram. And so we have here from Nira, how long does it take for energy to flow through you? Do you understand this question? I don't fully understand it, but maybe you do. Otherwise, we can ask her for more clarification.
Nira, thanks for asking the question. If you're there, I want you to experience it. I'm not going to tell you because I am not somebody who can measure or can say, what, that this is how, how quick it takes for energy to flow through your body. I want you to do something. Just sit where you are right now on your phone or wherever you are. Keep your eyes closed. Just close your eyes for a second, okay? Take a few deep breaths in and out. So you can breathe in for 2 counts, breathe out for 2 counts. And I want you to focus on something that went wrong with your day today. Just think about something that happened that was not meant to go the way it went, or that something someone said and cheesed you off or put you down or something. Just bring up an incident that happened in your day today. Just focus on that energy. Just focus on that. If nothing bad happened today, bring up an event from your past and just think about that event that was really bad and horrible. It was a terrible experience, something you just want to forget about. Just bring it into your consciousness. Think about it right now. Focus on it. Bring up the emotions you experienced that time. How did you feel? Were you feeling angry? Were you feeling disappointed? Just bring up all that emotion, all that energy. Just, think about it. And now, immediately think about something happy, something good. It could be your kids, could be your family, could be, something you appreciate in life, your hobbies, your passions. Think about that. So within a couple of seconds, you went from thinking about a bad event and experiencing those feelings that came through to a good event and experiencing the feelings that the good event brought about you. So you went from, let's say, anger to joy. You went from, let's say, feeling sad to feeling, on top of the world. That's how quickly energy can change or can flow. It's a matter of a thought. That's how quickly energy can flow.
Wow, thanks so much for that experience as well, Alia. I felt it. It's actually crazy. So, we don't have to stay stuck in these
We don't have
negative
to.
states of mind. You can switch it like this. How
Yeah.
powerful is
And
that?
because staying conscious of time and because we have so much to cover, again, linking this exact example to our vibrations in the body. So if you notice with this very example, when you were thinking about the negative experience, you may have noticed that you felt down, you felt a bit like, sad, your body may have slumped, or you may have felt, a tension somewhere in your body. So negative thoughts, negative emotions bring your vibration down. But when you change that mindset, you change that attention and focus on something happy, something beautiful about yourself or your life, you noticed immediately you felt in a whole different plane. You felt probably more energetic. And because we don't have enough time, of course, you have to rush through this exercise, but do try this at home. Minutes on each emotion, on each event in your life, a good and a bad. Then you'll see how your energy and your vibration shifts from a low level to a high level. And we're supposed to be vibrating, like each emotion has a it's been measured. There've been experiments done, there've been tests done using machines and devices that measure each frequency of each emotion. That's how we understand our vibrations. For example, jealousy, sadness, etc. have very low vibrations, but if you think about love, compassion, joy, they have very high vibrations. And we as human beings are meant to vibrate at high frequencies, right? So always be conscious about what you're thinking, where your mind is, where's your attention going, because energy flows where attention goes. I always wanted to say that, and here's my chance to say that. Energy flows where attention goes. So if
Lesson
you're
of the
thinking,
day.
so if you're thinking about negative stuff, if thinking about, bad memories, bad emotions, you're always going to be vibrating lower. And to answer somebody's question about talking about protection, first of all, when you talk about energy, for example, I think you mentioned something about having energy. There was something you said, energy protection and something else. What was it? Energy, psychic attacks, was it?
Oh yeah, one sec. It was spiritual protection and psychic
Hmm.
self-defense.
Psychic self-defense. So when you are constantly staying in a negative or low vibration mode, you are susceptible to attracting negative energy because, again, energy attracts, like attracts like. That is where the law of attraction comes in, right? So when you are vibrating high, you're attracting those, the things that you want to manifest in your life. Again, that's where manifestation comes in by maintaining a high vibration. When you're going to be staying at a low vibration level, you're going to be susceptible to having all these energy attacks and attracting negative energies, right? So it's important. It's all about shifting that energy, shifting that vibe. And in terms of energy protection, for you, what happens is energy tends to flow, right? So if you are, for example, if you are an energy being and you come across somebody who has a negative energy, especially if you're an empath, you will obviously absorb that negative energy from them. Okay. So we have practices or meditations or rituals, if you want to call them, that can help you create energy shields around your energy, and that's to strengthen your own aura and make it so strong that nothing can penetrate in it. So if you have that in place, if you meet somebody with a low or negative vibe, they won't be able to affect you that much. But that's going into like a lot of stuff. So yeah, but basically the best way to keep yourself protected from any energy attacks or negativity is to always keep your vibe high. Yeah.
Amazing. And even in this time that we're in right now, and with what's going on in the pandemic, it's something that I keep hearing from everyone. Keep your vibration high. Keep your vibration high. It's going to really help. And even when you're trying to cure yourself
Yeah.
from different ailments, and protect yourself also from that, it's something that really helps to keep your vibration high, keeping positive. or not necessarily positive, but just keeping yourself, as high vibration as possible.
Keeping
And even when
vibration
you're
high.
not positive,
Yeah.
understanding, being understanding
Yeah.
with yourself as well. I'm thinking we can go until maybe 9:05, if that's okay, since we started a little late, just to answer a few more
Fine.
questions.
That's okay. That's fine. Sure, definitely.
Awesome. So we answered one from Instagram, and then we answered Asim's question on Facebook. So I'm thinking we could take one from YouTube. Zenith is asking about distant energy. Is it possible to send energy like the moon and the sun? Okay, I don't understand the last part, but maybe you'll understand better. It's asking about distant energy.
So, in terms of distance energy, I think what she's trying to say is that can we, for example, send energy healing over a distance? Now, again, this is taking it deeper into explaining that physically we are limited to the space and the area that we occupy. Okay, because if we look at ourselves in this matter, in this form, then our energies as a human body, that we have a matter, we're in a solid form. But if you look at our energy as free flowing, as a spiritual on a spiritual level, then our energies have no limitations. They're not bound by any physical limitations. So in practices like you have in, I think, I'm not sure about in pranic healing, but I know for sure in Reiki and intuitive energy healing that I practice, I know that I can perform energy healing sessions on people who are not physically present by just simply, attuning or, just locking into their energy systems, their energy bodies, as we call them, because there's no physical barriers or limitations between energy. Energy flows, right? So by accessing someone's energy, you're able to send them healing. You're able to, like for example, read the energies. I do like, reading of people's energies, scan their auras, etc., to identify where the problems are. So that's pretty much possible with somebody sitting in the States and I'm sitting here in Kenya. It can work.
Amazing. Yeah, that makes sense because it's on a different plane from the physical. So that totally makes sense. And I guess that also would explain why prayer holds a lot of power. So there was a jump there. I was saying that maybe this also could explain why prayer holds power as well. And maybe you could share a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So even prayer, for example, prayers, chanting mantras, for example, it all has a vibration. And if you keep on repeating something over and over again, it tends to manifest because it's like sending out. It's like you have a bowl, let's say you have an empty bowl and you have peanuts in your hand, and you want a bowl full of peanuts. You're going to keep on throwing. So prayer has very high vibration. And when you pray for something, when you chant about things, when you pray, you actually raise your vibration to an extent where you actually manifest or bring the prayer into realization into your life.
Totally makes
So that's why
sense.
you see, for example, Buddhist monks spend hours and hours and hours just chanting a mantra, and when you have pandemics or when you have floods, for example, global flooding or hurricanes and stuff, you have these prayer circles that are set up. Or even people are sick when they fall term, you have prayer circles for them, because through the vibration of prayer, you can create miracles.
Amazing. And there's something that that you said earlier, then I think the video jumped. What were you saying about the peanuts? Did you say something about peanuts?
I did. I was using that as an example for prayer and vibration. No, Narissa, I want a bowl of peanuts right now. Can you hand me a bowl of peanuts, please?
What were you saying about peanuts?
It's just like how, like when you chant, you keep on chanting and you take each chant as a peanut and you keep on throwing the peanut in a bowl. Eventually you'll have a bowl full of peanuts. That's like, for example, if you manifested, a bowl of peanuts and you keep on praying and throwing a peanut inside, that's how you get your bowl of peanuts.
Oh, got it. Okay, nice analogy. Cool. So I think we are reaching the end of our time on this chat, although there is so much more to talk about. So I think we'll talk about how else we can share more. But Ilhan has asked on Facebook how someone can get in touch with Alia. So we're going to be sharing her contacts below. If you came here through the Conscious Kenya website, you can find her on the directory, and we'll also share that link below. And we've just put up an introduction to chakras course by Alia, so you can check that out as well. There's a lot more that will be coming, but yes, we will be sharing her contacts in the chat below on all the channels, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So yeah, I think that's it for tonight. And yeah, we've got a lot of good comments coming in saying thank you, enjoying the positive energy. And I think our takeaway lesson for today is, what was the sentence he said? Where the energy flows, where the what is that sentence he said? Where the thoughts go, the energy flows, or something like that.
Where attention goes, energy flows where attention goes.
Energy flows where attention goes. So I think that's our big takeaway for today. Thank you so much, Alia, for joining us on this show. I know there'll be many more discussions and amazing things coming. Yeah.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, and I want to say thank you to you and Edgar and the Conscious Kenya platform for hosting, alternate healers or therapists or practitioners like ourselves, because we get to then explain and share our knowledge with people, and it opens up a whole new world for so many people.
So, yeah, thanks for being a part of the family. Yeah, and thanks for sharing. Yeah, have a most amazing evening. Have a good night. And good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us and for all your comments.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, thank you, guys. And stay blessed and stay happy. And remember, keep that vibe high.
Bye. I think we're still live on YouTube. Eddie, can you end the live from your computer?
Still live.